Who had the best booth here at HCIC25? What booth attractions really worked? And is there a deal on flowers? Because there were a lot of them here. Oh, and there was one thing missing from the exhibit hall. Stay tuned to find out what that was. This is the best of show for HCIC25. Let's get to it.
Swaay.Health.
Hello, Colin Hung here at HCIC25 in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been here for the past 3 days with my colleague, Brittany Quemby. We've been going to keynotes, attending sessions, going to a whole bunch of after-hours events, and of course, checking out the exhibit hall, just over there. Now, before we get to the best of show stuff, on behalf of Brittany, myself, and the rest of the Swaay.Health team, we wanted to give a big shout out to the team at Huge for collaborating with us on the meetup that we had on Monday night. I guess I should have said a huge shout out. Jokes aside, we had an amazing turnout. The food was fantastic, the venue was great, everyone who stopped by had a good time. I personally loved seeing all the smiles, all the hugs, and the conversations people were having at the little tables. You know, one of the hallmarks of Swaay.Health meetups is that it's casual. There's no pressure, and there's no need to be on at our events. And for marketers at conferences, that's pretty rare because, you know, when we're a sponsor or an exhibitor, we always have to be in that biz dev mode, but not at our meetups. You can just be yourself. So thank you to the Huge team at HCIC25, that's Nicole, Christy, Cynthia, and of course Adam, for being such a generous host, sponsor, and collaborator with us. We appreciate you. Now, the exhibit hall here at HCIC25 is just off to my right and in one of those ballrooms over there. It's not a giant exhibit hall, and I think that's okay because it matches what attendees want. I think we appreciated here that it's more intimate and cozy, and that's an exhibit hall where you can bump into friends. So kudos to Kathy Divis, Mike Schneider, and the rest of the Greystone team for putting the snacks and all the evening food in the hall to drive traffic. So without further rambling from me, let's get to the best giveaways, the best booth attractions, and the best booth from HCIC 2025.
Best Giveaways HCIC 25.
Tealium had a very cute blue monster stuffy, which reminded me of Sully from Monsters, Inc. It was very cute. But the plushest giveaway came from Huron. They had these little stuffed dogs that were very popular. I was told by several people I had to go up and pick one up. And I can verify that it is indeed very soft and very adorable. Kudos to Huron for having such a great giveaway. Kanopi Studios was giving away another one of their Lego treehouse sets. I'm not a Lego maniac, but I do know a bit about the various sets, and this one is no longer in production and is a very desirable one. What's cool about it is the treehouse has a set of green leaves for the summer and colored leaves for the fall. So kudos to them for having a nice giveaway as well. Untitled Health had a great idea with their giveaway. It was sort of a build-your-own Vegas recovery kit with things like hydration packs and boosters. I'll let them describe what was in it.
So this is a hydration pack, sugar-free, elements. We love these. These are our favorite hydration packs. Then we have shower steamers to open up the sinuses and the pores in the morning. And then we've got the eye masks that are collagen. They go under your eyes and get rid of the puffiness. Okay. This is the Good Patch Rescue Patch, and it's got B12 in it, so it cures a hangover. And then this is a shade roller, and you use that to roll out all of your puffiness in the morning.
Now, Labubu's are the hot toy at the moment. People are literally going nuts over them. And Private Health News capitalized on that and had about a dozen of these available. And everyone was desperate to get one. But what Emily Ansell and team did at PHN with them was just pure genius. To get one of these coveted dolls, you had to agree to a meeting with them. And I watched as Emily would get out her calendar and schedule it with the person right then and there. I thought this was just brilliant. Labubus are great, but I don't think someone is just going to sign up for an hour of their precious time to have a meeting with Emily just for a doll. So I think Emily ended up with a dozen really good meetings with her giveaway. And that's why I think that one is the best from HCIC25.
Best Booth Attractions HCIC25.
So there were several booth attractions here at HCIC25 that stood out to me. Nemours, of course, had their supersized operation game. Still very cool. Freshpaint had their leather luggage tag workshop again, and this time they buffered the hammering sounds, and I'm sure a lot of the fellow exhibitors were thankful for that. The best booth attraction, though, goes to Merge. They had their head/M art sculpture in their booth before. Now, I've seen this before at other conferences, but I never really got the chance to fully appreciate it like I did here at HCIC25. And let me tell you, it's even more impressive the third time around. Just look at how this sculpture transforms. You know, art is in the eye of the beholder, but I have to say that I love the multiple marketing allegories here. As marketers, we use words and letters to appeal to audiences, and marketers are constantly having to look at things from multiple perspectives: internal, external, compliance, etc. This sculpture represents all of that. So kudos to Merge. They definitely had the best booth attraction at HCIC25.
Best Booths HCIC25.
Okay, let's talk about my favorite part of these best of videos, the booths themselves. And there were 3 exhibitors that I think went above and beyond. First is Epic. Just the fact that Epic had a booth here at HCIC25 is awesome. They don't go to a lot of conferences, so the fact that they had a mini version of what they bring to HIMSS was great. There was the usual butterflies and farm animals, but I loved that they added some cute dog sculpture art. And of course, the whole booth is very on brand for Epic, and it stood out. The second is Hedy Hopp. They had their booth adorned once again with real flowers, and the team also had those real flower earrings. Their booth looked great, smelled great, and shout out to them for flying out the same florist that they brought to ShushMed a few weeks earlier. But the booth that stood out most to Brittany and I was one from Invoca. They had a garland of flowers on one side of their booth. They were artificial flowers, but they looked very real. And they carried that nature theme into the backdrop, which had a soothing green leaf design. I don't know how they did it, but their LED light in that back panel wasn't the super bright one that you see on all the other booths, which made it a lot easier to look at and take pictures of and shoot videos in front of. Now on top of that, they had 3 retro rotary telephones on white pedestals. And you picked up those phones and you could listen to a fun recording of what their different solutions offered. Overall, I think it was a well-executed booth that made the most of that 10 by 10 footprint. So congrats to the team at Invoca for having the best booth at HCIC25. So what was the one thing that was missing from HCIC's exhibit hall? Well, it was the distinct lack of Vegas-themed anything. Outside of Unlock Health with their Vegas recovery kit, which to be honest would be appropriate for like Nashville, Austin, Miami, or any of these big cities, there were not a lot of giveaways here like dice or playing cards or Elvis sunglasses or feather boas or even poker chip chocolates. And you know, I'm glad for that. That whole Vegas theme is played out for me, so I, for one, was glad that that wasn't a strong theme here at HCIC25. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of this video, and if you made it this far, you can really help us by clicking that like button, hitting subscribe, or even better, leaving a comment below, especially if you saw something that we didn't, or if you have a different take from HCIC25. Brittany and I look forward to seeing you at the next conference, and I'll catch you on the next video.